Friendsgiving. This is the 2021 edition. This event is brought to you by TimingResearch and TradeOutLoud. The event is being recorded, and all the recordings will be available as soon as they're processed on the TimingResearch.com website, the podcasts, and also on the YouTube channel. David Kosmeter and I, Ankamet Kaf, will be your host today. So before we begin, let me remind you that all information provided today is for educational purpose only and should not be construed as investment advice regarding the purchase or sale of securities, options, futures, forex, or any instrument of any kind. Trading involves a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors because you could lose money. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your objectives, your level of experience, and your risk appetite. Individual performance depends upon each person's skills, time commitment, and effort. Results may not be typical, and individual results will vary. You must do your own research and take your own trading decisions. So with us today, we have a panel of fantastic pro traders. And to kick it off, we have Matt. The code name is Whiz. And this is Top Gun Options, guys. Thank you. And Matt, you have the mic.
Thanks, Anka. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Depends on where you all are joining us this beautiful day on this big blue marble circling a flaming ball of fire in the sky. Welcome aboard my presentation. It's called Trading the Death Star. And this is a brief, right? This isn't called a long. I'm not going to be long-winded, go on and on about nothing. We have very specific mission objectives to talk about this morning. And it's about the just one stock that I think you should own, and that's it. And that's probably going to creep some of you out, but I'm going to tell you why it's the only one you should own. And on my other screens here, I'm looking at how it's moving this morning on some market moving news. And it's really exciting to talk about, especially with the holidays coming up, Christmas, Kwanzaa, winter solstice, whatever you celebrate, this is the stock you want to be in. Thank God Anka kicked it off because I don't have to pay my attorneys for this brief. There we go. So she knocked out all of the regulatory stuff so we can go and get airborne. Now, I'm going to age myself. I mean, hell, I was a kid when the original Star Wars came out, but if you don't know what the Death Star is or don't have kids like I do, little booger-eating kids who loves the Star Wars series, the Death Star is that huge space station, right? Excuse me. The size.
Hey, Matt. Sorry, Can I interrupt you for just a second? Your screen share is showing up fine for me on both my computers, but can you just stop your screen share for a second and then reshare it?
Yeah,
see if that helps.
Pause and resume.
Sure.
Trading the Death Star, right? You guys see that?
Well,
the disclaimer?
I'm going to stop the share. Okay, and now just try sharing it again. So
share screen, share all of it. How about now?
All right, can everyone see the disclaimer? Matt's screen now? Okay, that reset it, I think.
Next slide. You guys seeing the Death Star?
Death Star now? Okay, I think that fixed it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Go for it.
Yeah, good catch. No, I appreciate it. I'd be talking to the wall here, and that's not good. So that's the Death Star, folks. That space station that became fully operational, took over the universe, got attacked and half blown up, but they rebuilt it and became even stronger. So that's the stock we're going to talk about today, trading the Death Star. Hey, real quick, in my personal accounts, I'm long Amazon, I'm long AMC with a covered call, short Tesla, and also short the Russell. I'm getting ready for a potential clown car in the middle of December with that whole debt ceiling debate. Remember that? In what was it, about a month ago, good old Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer kicked the can down the road a month. We were all going to run out of money, or not us, the government is going to run out of money, and they actually just kicked the can to the middle of December. So I'm keeping my eye, one hand on the ejection handle in case we get an end of the year sell-off here. So short some names that'll probably see an outsized implosion if we do. All right, as Anka said, I'm from a company called Top Gun Options. So my presentation is going to have a little bit of a aviation or fighter pilot theme to it. So we're going to start with a quiz. The first question that we're going to ask today is, which fighter aircraft would you rather fly? That's your first choice right there. Folks, that's a picture of an F-4 Phantom. Take a look at that cockpit, folks. Over 300 switches and dials in that cockpit. That gives me agita looking at that cockpit, right? 300 switches and dials. The pilot would spend a lot of heads down time staring at all this stuff instead of eyeballs out of the cockpit, looking for enemy aircraft or surface air missiles or AAA anti-aircraft artillery. This aircraft was so labor intensive that they actually put an extra dude in the back to just run the radar, folks. So it's very labor intensive aircraft. Okay, so that's your first choice. Or would you rather fly that? 2 flat panel displays. That's it. This is the F-35 Lightning, the Joint Strike Fighter. This is what we call a Wonder Woman jet. It's literally invisible to radar, folks. I'll show you what the pilot's helmet looks like in a minute here, because he actually looks like Darth Vader. The jet's invisible to radar, and when the pilot looks down, they don't even see a jet. With all the sensors around the airplane, they see through the aircraft. And displayed on their helmet, in their visor, are all the threats, the enemy aircraft, the AAA, the surface air missiles. Folks, this airplane is insane. It is smart enough that it actually limits the amount of information displayed to the pilot at different portions of the flight, because it figures out that you just don't need to know that right now. And if that creeps you out, let me creep you out a little bit more. This jet is actually learning. This jet learns what the pilots who fly it are doing at different points and catalogs it and goes, okay, now I'm a little bit smarter. Now that creeps me the hell out, but you know, until that becomes self-aware like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I guess we'll ignore it. So anyway, folks, obviously the choice is clear. What's this have to do with flying? Everything, folks. Trading has to do with flying, because trading is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their ass handed to them. And which side of the trade do you want to be on? There's actually a picture of an F-35 pilot. Look at that helmet. Absolutely incredible, folks. So we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you a quick intelligence brief, because the stock we're talking about has some news this morning, which I think is just incredibly bullish. I'm going to show you that stock, the only stock you need to own, and a good substitute to trade in case it's a little too pricey for you. I'm an options trader, folks. I don't buy the cow. I get the milk for free. Okay. So make sure you silence your electronic nicotine and no distractions, because you have never heard what I'm about to tell you. I am going to absolutely destroy everything you learned the day one of investing class, right? Whatever you learned day one is trash, and I'm going to tell you why. Real quick, my name's Matthew Buckley, folks. My call sign's Whiz. Like Anka said, you know, last time I checked with my parents, they loved me and didn't name me Whiz. I earned that call sign flying the FA-18 Hornet for the United States Navy for about 15 years. I graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, which many of you know as Top Gun, and did some combat sorties over Iraq. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. As I just said, trading is a form of combat. So as a young aviator, I started applying everything I was learning flying a fighter pilot, flying a fighter jet, right? Having a strategy, implementing tactics, contingency planning. You ready for this? Managing risk. Okay, this dude flew off aircraft carriers over Iraq, and he's going to talk to me about managing risk? Yeah. Now, my wife would say I love myself too much to let anything happen to me, but yeah, there's a little truth to that. But folks, we want to minimize and eliminate all known risk before we go and do anything, right? So yeah, risk management. As a young aviator, I remember being stationed at Naval Air Station Key West in Florida, 1991. Now I'm really old. I remember sending a check for $25 to the USAA Aggressive Growth Mutual Fund, because you don't join the Navy to get rich, guys. You join the Navy to serve your country, do good things, but certainly not to get rich. But in the background, I always knew I had to control my finances, man. Not Uncle's, definitely not Uncle Sam. So after sending some money to a mutual fund and looking at my statement every month and going, why are they charging me to pick stocks? My girlfriend at the time, who became my wife, kept Ann Taylor in business, and I paid the American Express bill. I'm like, maybe I should buy those 2 stocks. And that led to a long career that led me to today. It actually led me through right there. If you're not familiar with this historic building, take a look at those big, beautiful windows. This is the Chicago Board of Trade. That's the intersection of Jackson and LaSalle, and those big, beautiful windows right there. That was the firm I worked at, man. Just had an absolute blast. So I went from kind of being on one side of the fence as a, quote, lowly old retail trader to the other side of the fence where the pros are, right? I helped build a hedge fund when I was there. I helped build a retail brokerage called Options House. And I was also the founder and CEO of my own media company there called the Options News Network, ONN.TV, kind of the CNBC for options. I know John and Pete Najarian from my time up there, and they do a they kind of do the best they can at CNBC, paying lip service to options. But me, I did it 24/7, folks. I hosted a couple of the shows, and it was just an absolute blast. So I gave people like you a behind-the-scenes look at what was going on in the options market, and it was just an absolute blast. I laugh and tell people I felt like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places, man. I was Valentine, lowly old retail trader jumping the fence. But I got to be honest with you, the smart money ain't that smart. Matter of fact, many professional traders, I love the term professional trader. The professional traders at that firm, you know this money they risked? Nobody's. They didn't risk theirs, they risked the firm's money. So it's a little bit easy to be, quote, a professional trader when the money ain't yours. I've been doing this for 31 years. I manage my money. I manage my family's money. So guess what? My give a shit meter is a hell of a lot higher than, quote, a professional trader. I guarantee you. And as a result of the COVID crash last year, which you're going to hear about in a second, we proved that the smart money is not that smart. Okay, I do some charity work in the background as well. Lost a sister, unfortunately, to a drunk driver when she was 19 years old. Freshman at Villanova University, so I work with MAD. And also I started my own foundation last year called the Top Gun Fighter Foundation to try and minimize or eliminate veteran suicide. In the hour that I speak to you today, a veteran will take her or his life at their own hand. It's a national tragedy, and the Top Gun Fighter Foundation is fighting to minimize that. COVID crash, folks, from panic to profit. I was the only financial professional on the face of the planet to nail the COVID crash to the day. I knew the intel Donald Trump was getting briefed and he was ignoring it, and we were going to implode. I remember, January 22nd, he was sitting there in a CNBC interview in Davos with all the beautiful people talking about, how great everything is. And, I forget what's his name, the blonde haired dude's like, hey, real quick before you go, what's this, this virus in China? He's like, why are you even asking me about that? Dumb question. I know Xi, trust him. He's a great dude, not coming here. I looked into the camera and told my traders, get out of the market, get out right now, buy puts, get long volatility. We're going to implode. Then what happened? The whole way down. Buy the dip. Oh, this is the bottom. Oh, I'd nibble here. But every smart money told you to buy the whole way down, and they got destroyed. I didn't. I turned people into millionaires at Top Gun Options. And then at the bottom, it was a Thursday morning jobs report. It was a weekly jobs number, 6 million. I'd never seen anything like it. I looked into the camera and I'm like, get ready to pound it even further. And then before I hit enter, Jerome Powell dropped the biggest financial nuke in the history of man. And I looked in the camera and said, get bullish. And the market turned and we never looked back. And then the smart money did what? Oh, we're going to go down again. This isn't the bottom. They got it completely wrong. We didn't. Also run a podcast, Max Afterburner podcast. That's me before we left Chicago. I love that picture. That's the only reason I'm showing it. All right, that's it. If you ever go to one of these things and they just say, hey, buy all this stuff, a fool and their money are soon parted. Know who you're, know who's talking to you, okay? So let's go ahead and get airborne here. Okay, so sit up in your chair because this really is going to be groundbreaking. And I don't use those, I'm a man of few words, so to speak. I'm very direct. As a fighter pilot, I'll take respectful truth over artificial harmony. So you've never heard what I'm about to tell you. And this might shock you or it might not. But you ready for this? Wall Street is lying to you. They've been lying to you since day one. Who's been lying to you and what have they been saying, Whiz? I'm going to tell you. You ever hear the you can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Everybody's heard this. Day one of investing, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You have to diversify. Diversification is important. Why diversification? 5 tips, all sorts. It's an absolute lie. What? You heard me. Who's been lying to you, folks? This guy. Ladies and gentlemen, anytime you hear the word broker, I don't care if it's real estate broker, yacht broker, and you delete the word broker and then insert the word commission. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen The Wolf of Wall Street, Boiler Room, the movie Wall Street, it's a lie. Hey boys, let's get all the little old ladies in tennis shoes into this stock today. Well, we got them into this one yesterday, this other one, get them out of that one. And it's called churn, ladies and gentlemen. They make money on commissions. They make money. The more you trade, the more names you're in, the more money they make. They don't care if it's suitable for you. They want you in and out. Commissions. Now, if you're sitting here going, haha, Whiz, I'm smarter than you probably are. I'm a poor kid from South Jersey and a political science major. But let me tell you this. If you're sitting here going, well, Whiz, I don't pay commissions. I'm at Robinhood or some other no commission broker. Folks, if you're not paying something, you're not the customer. You're the product. Folks, I've been here, man. My firm, payment for order flow, was huge cash for our firm. If you're at Robinhood, folks, you know who the customer is? It's Ken Griffin at Citadel. It's Stevie Cohen at SAC, folks. Remember, if you're at the poker table and you don't know who the idiot is, it's you. So folks, don't give me this, I'm at a commissionless broker. That's even worse, in my opinion. So anyway, folks, you do not have to diversify. As I said, I'm a fighter pilot. I am very direct, so let me be. Diversification is for stupid people. Now, if that offended you, let me get a little old man to say it nicer. Diversification is a protection against ignorance. It makes very little sense for those who know what they're doing. I want that to sink in. All diversification does, it might preserve some wealth, it doesn't grow it. Diversification protects you against ignorance. If you know what you're doing, you don't need to diversify. Ladies and gentlemen, the only stock you need to be in for the rest of your life is Amazon. Period. There's nothing else to discuss. Let's discuss it. Take a look at that chart. If you had told me when I bought Ann Taylor and American Express in 1991 that there was going to be a stock out there who would continue to grow at 30% a year, I would have laughed. That's physically impossible. Amazon does it. In their last earnings report, they made $1 million a minute. The math is insane, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at the annual revenue by segment, right? Years ago, AWS didn't even exist. The current CEO, Andy Jassy, he and Jeff Bezos came up with it like in a townhouse. Like, hey, maybe we should do this. Now it's like Microsoft. AWS is growing into its own behemoth and profit center, folks. Amazon Prime Day is kind of like a national holiday. It's become like a verb where people put it on their calendar, right? Now, let's talk about this one real quick. If you delete Amazon from this chart, I want to step through this because this is interesting. Ready? Sales. Whiz, would you buy this stock? Oh my God, man, look at the sales. Of course. Well, how about their free cash flow? Sales are up here. Free cash, okay, maybe I still kind of like it. Profit. Oh my God, I'd short this stock. They don't make any money. What a stupid stock. I'd short it. And you'd be broke. Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen is absolute pure brilliance and one that Democrats hate. Let's talk through it. Jeff Bezos, ladies and gentlemen, does not want to make a profit. You heard me. Let me say it again. Jeff Bezos says, if I make $1, I'm going to use it. I'm going to buy a competitor. Jeff Bezos usually puts a competitor out of business. I'll buy a new airplane. I'll make more shows on Amazon Prime. I'll make Amazon Pharma. I'm going to buy more drones. I'm going to buy more EV vehicles from Rivian. Ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't like making money. He doesn't like making a profit. This is what's funny about this whole tax thing. When they come after Amazon, they're like, haha, we're going to tax you. And the company's like, yeah, we don't make any money. Drat, says the Democrats, because he's a brilliant businessman. I might not agree with it. We'll talk about that in a second. But folks, it's genius. He said, first of all, I'm never going to split the stock. And he's like, I'm also never going to have a dividend. What a waste of money. You guys, I started this company. You trust me to take this money and to do smart stuff with it. I'm not going to give it back to you. This is why you have to throw out all of your old stock market books, right? Like this Amazon breaks the mold of investing. I literally, at the height of the COVID crash, as we were all locked, well, I wasn't locked in prison. I live in Florida. I literally, on this bookshelf over here that I'm looking at, is kind of bare except for new stuff because I threw everything out. The Federal Reserve jumping in to save capitalism has destroyed everything. But looking at this chart right here, Amazon has completely changed the idea of investing. I remember looking at my brokerage platform years ago. I think it was Trade Monster. Amazon's PE was like 3,000. They had to update their algorithms because they needed another decimal point. They only had like 3 decimal points. I remember talking to my buddy at Trade Monster. He's like, dude, we had to add, the techies had to go in and add a 0 because of the PE. So back in the day, if you're an old stodgy investor, you'd never invest in something like this. And then you'd miss it at being at $3,600 right now. Does that make sense? Don't listen to me, David. Bought my single Jan 21 2270 call that I've been rolling short diagonal calls against. The base call is of 51 grand. Barmar, hey, I sold my Amazon 3,000 calls too early last week. I still made 80 grand. Dennis, my original Amazon synthetic call for 621 expiry is now up $145,000. Kevin, cumulative Amazon gains net out to 12,673, which is nicer than it seems since I started 6 grand in the hole before I followed Whiz's discipline correctly. Greg, my Amazon long call diagonal is up 28 grand from yesterday to over 31K today. All right, now before we get into this, folks, and really dig in, I would not be doing my job as an options trader, instructor, or fighter pilot if I didn't brief you on the risks of just trading one name, a solo stock. Anybody ever hear of a little mom and pop company called Lehman Brothers? 150-year-old company. How about Bear Stearns? Jim Cramer obviously has heard of Bear Stearns. He looked like Khrushchev at the UN, this bald dude foaming at the mouth, banging his shoe on the table at the height of the financial crisis. You're an idiot if you don't buy Bear Stearns. Your money's safe there. 2 days later, it was at 0. Good job, Jim. How about pets.com? How about Enron? Folks, we could spend the next 38 minutes of my time here walking through the graveyard of stocks that have gone to 0. I'm not going to waste your time because what's the common thread between all of those names? I'll tell you, they didn't own a thing. Enron didn't even own the building they were in. They were a middleman of electricity. I don't even know what that means. Pets.com owned a Pets.com URL and a stinky sock. Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns owned paper. They don't own anything, folks. They can go to 0. Amazon can't go to 0. I did Amazon. I did some business consulting for an Amazon fulfillment center a couple years ago, south of Miami International Airport. It's bigger than an aircraft carrier and just as busy inside. It's insane. I flew for FedEx. I left because I hated flying at night, but I still had a buddy in corporate. And years ago, he called me. He's like, dude, who's Jeff Bezos? I'm like, he runs Amazon. He's like, wow. I just heard from a buddy at GE Aircraft Leasing that he bought 5 airplanes. I'm like, he's going to do it. He's going to do what? I'm like, he's going to take over you, FedEx. This guy is insane. Amazon Prime is bigger than Disney and Netflix combined. You name it, Amazon is in it. How about like a year ago, little news story. Amazon has patented the terms Amazon Pharma and Amazon Pharmacy. Folks, in about a year, you're going to get a text message, go to your door. You're going to open your door. A drone's going to scan your face and then drop in your hand your prescriptions. You want a good short bet? CVS and Walgreens, they will disappear in a couple of years. It's Amazon. You don't have to get in your car and go to the pharmacy. Amazon will deliver it to you. How about in my neighborhood? All I see are blue trucks. I haven't seen a brown truck in years. I see a random FedEx truck. And oh, by the way, with the Rivian partnership, ain't going to be any drivers in those trucks soon. And guess what? Ain't going to be any pilots in the airplane soon. These cargo planes are going to be pilotless. Anyway, they're in everything and they own stuff, folks. So can stocks go to 0? Of course they can. Can Amazon? No. Whoa. Okay, man. I know I'd freak some of you out with this dude on the screen, but why is this dude on the screen? Because guess what? Well, Whiz, the FTC is looking in Amazon and a monopoly, and the DOJ and Donald Trump, flamed Amazon. He couldn't stand Jeff Bezos because of the Washington Post. He also couldn't stand Amazon because, they're a monopoly and they're destroying the post office and all sorts of stuff like that. Well, guess what, folks? what happened as a result of the president of the United States on Twitter flamethrower Amazon? Somebody needs to do something. They're destroying nothing. The stock, the first time at the beginning of his presidency, he went after Amazon. The stock kind of pulled back a little bit like, uh-oh, and then never looked back. At the third or fourth year of his presidency, when he took a flamethrower to him, it went up. So I get it that there are legal issues and DOJ this and Attorney General that. Nobody cares. The last time I checked, the world's richest man, well, it depends on where Tesla is or Amazon stock is, but let's just say Jeff Bezos is the world's richest man. That I'm fairly certain he's got access to maybe an attorney or two. I'm old enough to remember Standard Oil, Microsoft, IBM. How about AT&T? Do you know how long it takes Uncle Sam to first of all even like start poking around, to meeting, to going to court, to trying to break up something? The average is 10 years. The shortest I've seen is 5, and the longest took 15. So I'm fairly certain that Amazon's fine. It's too late. And by the way, if you broke up Amazon today, look at like GE and J&J. Last week, Johnson & Johnson, General Electric said, we're going to break up into 3, or at least GE's going into 3 behemoths. If Amazon is Mercury, if you smash Amazon, you're going to create 12 little monopolies instead of 1 behemoth. So too late, Uncle Sam. So anyway, I got to tell you the potential threats. I mean, that's my job as your intelligence briefer, right? And neither of us can stand, well, whoever just said that, let me brief you at Top Gun Options what I wear, right? I am wearing clothes right now, by the way, but usually I'll tell you how I feel as an American. I'll put my flight suit on and go, hey man, I think Jeff Bezos is a disgrace. The world's richest man, pays his employees like shit. He didn't even give them like personal protection at the height of the COVID crash. He's just, I mean, he's your typical limousine liberal. He rolls down his window and says, somebody should help those people, and rolls it back up and splits. I think he's awful. You ready for this? Then I'm going to put on my $10,000 Armani suit and say, good. I think he should pay his employees less. I think he should do this, put these people out. I don't care. Just like Gordon Gekko in the movie Wall Street. If you want a friend, get a dog. My job is to teach you how to make money. You want to talk about how I feel as an American? We'll grab a drink. But that's not my job here. I'm here to teach you how to make money off of Amazon, period. Now, we talked about the risks. What are the benefits of just trading a solo stock? Well, guess what, man? You trade the same name and potentially profit no matter what direction Amazon goes, up, down, or sideways, right? Yeah, we can make money if a stock is moving sideways. That's a no-brainer, right? You become focused. You stay focused on the news and events that impact Amazon instead of a bunch of different stocks and ETFs. Ladies and gentlemen, you become an expert in Amazon, reducing time spent on other positions, right? Ladies and gentlemen, when I was at that firm in Chicago, we had a research desk, like 22 young folks sitting in the side of the room. Their job was to know 2 or 3 names that we traded. I mean, know them. They eat, breathe, sleep these names, 1 or 2 names. Do you know how many times they got stuff wrong? A lot. I remember going over there, like, who was One Earnings, whatever it was. I'm like, I went over there, looked at the dude. I'm like, are you high? Are you nuts? So if these people whose job 24/7 is to follow just 1 or 2 names, how can you as a retail trader be in a bunch of different names? Let me give you an example. Let's go back to this. One of my buddies down here in Boca Raton, he's a surgeon, orthopedic surgeon. Whiz, I heard you're a great stock trader. I'm like, I'm not. I'm an options trader, but thank you. I need help. Okay, I met him at Starbucks, and I can't stand Starbucks, but I went anyway. But anyway, he booted up his brokerage account and swung his laptop around, and I'm glad he's a doctor because I fell and cracked my head open, man. I passed out. Why? This is what his brokerage account looked like. He had an F4 Phantom, folks. You ready for this? 33, you can't see that. He had 33 positions in his brokerage account. I'm not joking, folks, because I had to, after I regained consciousness, I sat there and counted them. He's like, what? I'm like, oh my God, dude. Are you insane? I'm like, what is this stuff? He goes, you ready? He goes, well, this one, the first one's a pot stock, I think. I'm like, did you just say I think? Oh, yeah, I forget. I'm like, you done. Okay. Move on to the next one. He's like, well, I think this is a plastic surgery stock my brother put me into, but you ready for this? It's down 50%. So when it gets back up to where I bought it, I'll get out of it. I'm like, Doc, you're Doc, right? Okay, good. You do math. That means it has to go up 100% from where it is right now for you to get, okay, dude, stop talking. You need to simplify your trading cockpit. Ladies and gentlemen, I do this for a living. I just showed you my personal account, or I'll show you in a couple minutes, my real live brokerage account, 4 positions. And that's a lot for me. Folks, I do that because I manage multiple portfolios at Top Gun Options. Guess what? I have a couple other names, but you don't need other names, folks. Please listen to me. Simplify your trading cockpit. Whiz, this is resounding with me. Well, great. But I have to tell you, they bit me in the neck, man. Those brokers bit me in the neck day one of investing, and I have to diversify. I get what you're saying, but I can't. I got to stay diversified. Ladies and gentlemen, just as my buddy tells me that shrimp are a vehicle for eating cocktail sauce, we have a vehicle for eating Amazon if you want to diversify. It's called XLY. This is the consumer discretionary ETF. What? Take a look at some cocktail sauce with shrimp. The way to eat some Amazon, folks, is the XLY. About a quarter of the XLY, ladies and gentlemen, is in Amazon. Isn't that awesome? And then here's your diversification. Some Tesla, Home Depot, McDonald's, Nike, Starbucks, Lowe's, Target, Bookings, TJX. Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen for you diversification fiends is your diversification. So in the service I'm going to brief you on, it's called Solo Amazon, but we also trade XLY. Because looking over here at my other screen, Amazon, which is going down, which is perfect because I have some short calls, is a $3,500 stock. The XLY is a $208 ETF, and I need that to go down today as well. But anyway, folks, so there on your screen is Operation Diversity. Wow, Whiz, exactly. So ladies and gentlemen, how do we target Amazon and XLY for max profit? Folks, every Monday at noon, we did it this Monday at noon, we do our Solo Amazon live trade brief, okay? With every week that we get new members, I do a base position. What's that mean? I hop in my F-35, that Joint Strike Fighter, I fly the speed of light out into the future, and I establish, to use a Marine term, a beachhead. We establish a base position with options. You can fly out into the future a year, 2 years, 2.5 years, and we're going to get bullish. 2.5 years out into the future, Amazon's a $6,000 stock easily, unless we really destroy the rest of this country and our economy, which is a distinct possibility. But folks, we're going to establish, I'm going to show you how I establish what I call a base position with synthetic stock or a long call diagonal. Now take a look at what the words in the parentheses. I never went flying in an F-18 Hornet without an ejection seat. I didn't walk out to the jet one morning and say, hey, Chief, pull the ejection seat out. I want 800 pounds more of gas, not an ejection seat, because I'm awesome and I'm not going to die today. That's the day I would have died. So I'm going to teach you how we protect our positions with protective puts. Then, after we have that base position established, we're going to trade what I call the front months. What's a front month? Folks, you're sitting in a front month, November, December, January. If Amazon's going up, we do bullish spreads. We can buy some calls. What if it's going down? Who cares? We'll do some bearish spreads and buy some puts. What if it's moving sideways? Well, ladies and gentlemen, in the options world, if something's moving sideways, we can trade what is called an iron condor. Wait a minute. You can make money if something ain't moving? Yep. Anybody who just trades stocks, I feel bad for. You can make money 3 ways too if you just buy stock. It's the buy, hope, and pray. You buy the stock, you hope it goes up, and if it doesn't, you pray. Not me. If something ain't moving, I'm making money off of it. And I'll teach you how to do that trading options, right? Okay, so let me shift over to my brokerage account, which is awesome because I'm staring at Amazon over my other screen and I'm dying to trade it over here. So real quick, this is my live brokerage account. One of them, I trade my account and my wife's account. This, of course, is my wife's account, and I do better for her than me, but my Amazon position is up 13 grand today. But let's take a look. First of all, I want to show you my week to date. Let's go last 3 days, and let me filter out the filled, and let's just take a look at my Amazon trades so far this week. I'm going to save the math for you. See, these are all Amazon starting Monday up until today. As of me talking to you, and let me go to my position since Amazon, look at this. So let me go orders. This is this morning at 9:57. So 3 minutes before I hopped onto this brief, I sold 10 of Friday's 3,600 calls. And I sent those out to my members. 10 of those calls right here are worth $1,500. So as I've been speaking to you, I made $1,500. Since Monday, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen is, well, I can't do mental math, is over here, I've made $19,955. If you allow me to round up, what's that? 21.5. I've made over $20,000. What's today, Wednesday? In 2.5 days, just trading Amazon, in and out of short calls. What do I mean by that? Let me show you my base position. My base position is right here. I own 10 of the Jan 21. That's out to what, 3-4 months? No, 2 months from now. I bought 3,500 calls. Why? When you become a member at Top Gun Options, you're going to learn that we put on what I call seasonal trades. Hold on. Every November 1st, you should have a calendar reminder that pops up that says seasonal trades. What do I mean by that? Every November 1st, you should buy Amazon, XLY, XRT, and Visa, or was that PPYL or something? So why? Folks, these are Christmas trades, man. Kwanzaa, winter solstice, fill in the blank. Hanukkah. Folks, for 31 years of doing this, I can only remember 1 year where we didn't have a Merry Christmas, and that was due to Jerome Powell. It was like 2018 I'll never forget, October 3rd, Jerome Powell said, I think we should raise interest rates. And for 3 months, we imploded. We had like a Christmas massacre, man. Remember that? So, but anyway, other than the self-induced Christmas massacre there, guess what? These positions tend to print money. Now, hold on, Whiz. Hold on. I want to put it in order as I'm sitting here real quick, because all right, now in the time that I've been talking to you, it was up $1,500. Now it's up 3 grand. It's Amazon pulls back. So I'm going to maybe make 3 grand in 38 minutes. So let me put it in order to close this, because I'm just sitting here. No offense, but if I can make 3 grand as I'm talking to you, I'm going to do it. Send. And then you're going to demonstrate, I'm going to demonstrate what I do to my premium members right now. I go over to their live trading room over here where we have a trades only. And then over here, I put all my intel and commentary, paste. And what was that? That was about 3K. Let me use the approximately 3K. So these guys get my trades immediately when I open and close them. So if you had followed me just this week, what's that? 19, so about 23 grand since Monday in these trades. Boom. All right, now back to your regularly scheduled program. So anyway, so Amazon XLY, XRT, what's XRT? It's the retail ETF. So here's what's interesting, because I keep hearing bah humbug. I keep hearing, well, this Christmas is going to be awful because of inflation and supply chain issues. That is not what I'm hearing, man. So hold on, let me move this menu out of the way over to here. Folks, holiday spending is actually bigger than it was last year. Most states were in COVID prison except Texas and Florida. We lived our life. So folks, this survey found that the holiday shopping is going to be even bigger than it was last year. I'm like, I guess the supply chain issues and all that stuff is over. No, but they're saying it doesn't matter. Did you see Target this morning? Target posts strong sales and says there's plenty of stock for Black Friday. Yesterday, what happened? Walmart raises forecast and says shelves are stocked for holiday shopping. What? You heard me, folks. So, ladies and gentlemen, if Target and Walmart, which ain't Amazon's, are saying this is going to be a nutty Christmas, why aren't you getting bullish as I'm talking to you and buy some Amazon calls? Dang it, I didn't get filled. Well, so I'm only up $1,000 on these calls because let's take a look at that chart real quick. So this is how I trade in and out of those Amazon short calls. As Amazon imploded and got right to there, you saw me place that order live because I knew it was going to pop a little bit right here. So could have gotten it out for $3,000. Now it's only up $1,000. But hey, somebody just asked that. I'm not ignoring you, but let me tell you, that's a good question. What could I make on these short calls? So if Amazon, if I keep these short calls, which I most likely won't, I trade in and out of them. But if I did want to sit here until Friday and just sit on these, I could potentially make $17,000, $17,250. But remember, that's only if Amazon stays below 3,600. Me, I think Amazon's about to rip higher, man. Now, what's that? That's $38 away from here, 3,600. So it ain't worth the risk to me. I like trading in and out of these. I could do something like, hang on, let me clear drawings. You know what? If I wanted to kind of set it and forget it a little bit, if I didn't want to sit here and kind of trade in and out of Amazon, I could go out to like maybe Friday's 36.25s. That would be like a big move from here. The 36.25s, or they don't even have a 25. They have a 20 and a 30. Let's just go up to a 30 to give me a little bit more room. If I sold 10 of them out to Friday, you got to do it in nickel increments. Well, how about 10 grand between now and Friday? Folks, that's some serious living. If you add that to the 20 that I've made so far, that's $30,000 in Amazon alone this week. Why would you trade anything else? 30,000 in a week times 52 trading weeks is $1.6 million. Do I have your attention yet? Now, I trade a little bit of a larger account. I mean, this is how much Amazon do I have? Right now, my Amazon is right here, about 170 grand-ish. But folks, divide that in half, divide that a quarter of that. And you're simply, it doesn't matter if I made, 20 grand in the past couple of days off of 170-ish, right? But that's also why we call it solo Amazon. What if you did half of that, right? I have a lot of people are doing about half this position and they made 10 grand in 2.5 days. And then you're done for the week, right? So folks, it's about it's not about the size of the account, it's about the return, right? But anyway, let me get back on track here because I want to keep these guys on time. Folks, I'm the first one to admit when I'm wrong. I got to be honest with you, I was wrong. I was getting, on Monday, I'm sitting in our solo Amazon brief going, I don't know if we're going to see, because look at this chop here. I'm like, I don't know if we're going to see a Merry Christmas. Inflation, supply chain issues, bah humbug. I might scale out of some of my Amazon. And then this stuff happened. Target, Walmart. Look at what Goldman Sachs came out with today. Goldman names Amazon a top pick for 2022, saying their labor costs are already priced in, man. What did I tell you? Guess what happened over here? We got Amazon earnings. Let me go back over to here. Chart. 3 months. Folks, look what happened with Amazon earnings. Oh man, with supply chain issues and you know how many people were bearish going in Amazon earnings? Oh, they're going to have labor costs are higher, inflation, this and that. I'm like, hey guys, are you stupid? Jeff Bezos is not a charity. Do you think Jeff Bezos is going to eat these costs or pass them on to us? The answer is pass them on to us. So after a ton of morons said, oh yeah, Amazon's in a lot of trouble, that happened. Okay, so I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your financial advisor, your broker dealer, any of that stuff. You're getting to eavesdrop on what I'm doing. I feel a massive Santa Claus rally coming. However, do not forget, and I just saw that they kicked it from December 3rd to like December 10th or the second week in December. the debt ceiling. A month ago, Mitch McConnell caved. He literally caved and said, all right, this time we're going to help you out, but you guys own the White House, you own the Senate, you own the House. Come December, we are not helping you raise the debt ceiling. You're going to have to do that on your own. And of course, politicians, folks, they wait until when? Literally the 12th hour. So we might get a middle of December. If we default on our debt in the middle of December, remember, folks, politicians are just idiots. Mitch McConnell might feel that his Tuesday Virginian, New Jersey showing gives him enough airspeed to kind of be a stick in the mud. We get a mid-December default in our debt, the market will be down 5 to 10% in the blink of an eye. Don't think that can't happen. Well, Whiz, well, it might not happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but hope ain't a strategy. If you go out and look at VIX, the volatility index options upside, I'm going to open up the strikes. Let me shock you real quick. I love sharing this stuff. Look at the 30 strike. The VIX is at, let's just round down and say 15. Look at the VIX doubling. There are 150, how about 113? Let me show you even more strikes here, folks. Somebody look at the 40 strike. The VIX currently, as I'm talking to you folks, is at 1648. The 40 strike has 131,000, 150. Look at there are a ton of people out there, folks, saying, hey, in the middle of December, the VIX is going to have doubled. Now, I get it, folks. I was in a large firm. This is hedging, right? These are people who go, hey, man, I have to, be prepared for an absolute train wreck. Well, guess what? Are you just rich enough to not hedge? I have 170,000 in Amazon. You're going to be damn sure that I'm going to probably buy some upside VIX lottery calls just in case. I know we're in a solo Amazon brief, but I am not doing my job if I don't brief you on the current intel that's going on out there. Does that make sense? So we have some really, really awesome stuff going on here at Top Gun Options. This is Solo Amazon, folks, is our newest live trading service here that I've added. Why? Because people, like Doc, 33 positions. I'm like, dude, you just need to be in one name, man. Well, what's that? I'm like, Amazon. I'm like, okay, well, that's a service right there. It's our newest and actually most popular trading service, and it's also our least expensive. So it is kind of like shrimp and cocktail sauce. This is a vehicle to come check out what we do here at Top Gun Options, and it's only 97. My other briefs, since I do trade VIX and this and that and other stuff, they're $167 a month. Solo Amazon, folks, I'll let you in today. We can do $97 a month. I went to the Panthers game last night. I spent a hell of a lot more, $97 just on hot dogs. $97 a month, or I'll give you a 25% discount today if you want to do an annual membership. So there's the link for the annual. I'll give you the monthly in a second here. But go to topgunoptions.com/solo annual. Solo annual, that's a 25% discount. And that's a 50% discount from all my other live trade briefs, right? So, hey, Whiz, I solo Amazon every Monday at noon. Yep, I work. Well, welcome to the crowd, man. 80% of TGO members work at that time, but I send out time-sensitive text and email alerts for the folks that can't be there, right? There's a screenshot of a recent text alert, man. Boom. I just copy from the order ticket what the trade is. And at the same time, I send out a text alert, an email automatically fires as well. And I have a screenshot of the trade. I'm selling this many contracts, buying this many at this price. Here are the risk parameters, the max potential loss, the probabilities. Boom. So it's double redundancy. You get a text alert, you get an email alert, and then 30 minutes after the brief, it takes about, I don't know, half an hour for the recording to render. I post the replay. Folks, there are folks who haven't even seen me in years. This one guy wrote me the other day. He's like, dude, my schedule changed, and it's the first time in years that I could attend live. He's like, yeah, 3 years I've been here. I just watch you on the replay. So you don't have to be there, folks. Now today, I love Anka and I love David, so I'm going to hook you guys up with our proprietary manuals. So it's our primary, intermediate, and advanced. If you went to my homepage today to buy these, they're $197. So let me help out all the Marines in the audience. Hold on. $97 for a month of solo Amazon, the live trade briefs, yeah, and the manuals, which are $197. Come on, Marines, do the math real quick. I just saved you $100. Putting $100 in your pocket. This is insane. It's funny because my marketing, I love my marketing team. They're like, well, Whiz, I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. They're like, it's not supposed to make sense to you. I'm like, okay. They're like, this is called an irresistible offer. I'm like, yeah, no shit. It's called a money loser. But they're like, no, get it. Once they get in the door and they see what you do, they stay. I'm like, all right, I trust you. So there you go. You're going to get the manuals for free. You get access to our brief every Monday at noon, the text and email alerts, the manuals, and access to our online forum, our Ready Room, where you can ask me questions. You can answer questions from other members. It's just it's a great service here. Parmar up 200 grand in Amazon on 20 contracts. I'm trading 10. He's doing 20. Kevin was late to enter a synthetic stock position. He paid 8 grand. He's up at 24. Diane up 70 with 1 contract. I like Scott's. Hey, Whiz, up 20 grand in a September and October calls this week. I have never been there. Patience, persistence. Thanks, TGO. Dennis, again, just printing money with 1 contract, folks. So if you want to test fly what we do for a month, I'll hook you up today for $97. Solo Amazon for $97 is a steal. TopGunOptions.com/ solo-amazon-monthly. Okay, does that make sense? That's I'm gonna hook a brother and sister up. So yeah, you know what, Whiz? And yeah, the answer is yes before you even ask it. Do it for a couple months and then just shoot us an email like, hey, I want to upgrade into an annual. Oh wow, look at you. Can I take a screenshot of those? Oh, Ann, hey, Goose, can you post that to everyone? Look at what Ann crushed it this week. So Ann's, because I got to be honest with you, man, I screwed up today. I had a brief at 10 a.m. for my members. And David's like, dude, you're on in 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll bring my members over. Look at Ann. Ann wrote in the chat box here, she beat me this week. This week, Monday through Wednesday, made $90,152 on short calls against my synthetic stock with Wiz's guidance. Goose is an F-16 guy. If an F-16 guy in the Air Force can do this, you can do it. Up 30 grand since October on Amazon following Wiz's trades. Wow. Roger, no, the upgrade. So if you go from $97 a month, you just upgrade into it. So you finish that month for $97 and then you pay $897 for the next 12 months for a year. So $97 a month, or you pay $897 for a year. And that, Roger, if you do the math real quick, is you get a 25% discount if you upgrade into an annual. Now, I feel like the Flex Seal tape guy, but wait, there's more. There is, because just like Amazon says, hey, do you also want to buy this? I'm going to say this because you have to do this. You don't have to, I'm telling you to do. Full throttle training. If you're sitting here going, holy crap, synthetic stock, short calls, I can't even spell the word option. Don't worry about it. That's what we're going to do in full throttle training. So take the upsell, so to speak, for $195, because I'm going to do 8 live sessions with you, starting from, hey man, this is a call, this is a put, to this is an iron condor. We do an hour to an hour and a half. Exactly. We'll teach you, man. And if you think you're good, we'll make you better, just like the motto of Top Gun. If you think you're good, we'll make you better. Building block approach, folks, I guarantee you. And this is, oh yeah, this is from last week when I did a solo Amazon brief. I did 24 grand last week in Amazon trades, folks. So I'm a little bit, well, no, I think that I gave that brief on a Thursday. So I'm close to what I did last week. Folks, those are individual shots of opportunity. Individual Amazon trades, and they summed up. That was last week. All right, so solo Amazon guys, let me keep them. I got 1 minute. Newest live trading service and Top Gun options. The other ones are $167. I'm going to hook you up with $97 a month or $897 a year. Okay, so folks, if you didn't learn anything today, I failed. But at least take this away from me. After you get done with the other great speakers this afternoon, later this afternoon, at least pause take a look at your brokerage account, man. Do you have an F4 Phantom? Are you trading 33 names? Even folks, I'm telling you, I just showed you my brokerage account. I got 4 names and that's busy. All you need to trade is Amazon or XLY. Folks, simplify your trading cockpit and I guarantee you, you're going to see superior execution. David, Anka, 10:55, on time, on target. Thanks for having me. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge and God bless everybody. Namaste.